Hello and welcome to the Pearly Eye review. I'm PJ. Earlier today I got the chance to see Rise of Skywalker. Now, here's proof that I actually did go see this movie. Here's my ticket. And also here's if you go to any Regal theater and go to see it in IMAX, you can get this collectible ticket card. From the movie. Ooh. Okay. I'm trying to sum up words of... okay, well, at the end of this video, I'll tell you how I feel about everything. I'll start off with this. I feel like this movie does a lot of cleanup work, Rise of Skywalker. It has a lot of exposition in it, trying to sort of like rework the characters. Like they're trying to convince the audience that Rey, Poe, and Finn are just like these best friends forever, like these true best friends, and it's like trying to prove like they're really solid and really close. Maybe Finn and Rey, but Poe, it's just like the three of them. I don't I don't really buy that, and I really don't care. It's a lot of trying to make us believe. It's like I when the movie began, I couldn't help but feel like just, can we just get to what the mission is? What is the overall purpose of these characters? What are they? What is the big grand finale? What are we trying to build these characters up to? What is their motivation? And that's all. I'll start off trying to like explain the movie in shorthand, because it's quite a bit. Just not every single detail in the movie, but just the main point of what's going on in Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so C-3PO and R2-D2 inform everybody that years ago Luke Skywalker found out that the Emperor is still alive, and in order to get to the Emperor and stop him, Luke needed to find something called like a wayfinder, a Sith wayfinder. Luke had tracked down where this ancient device was, but like somehow or another he lost the trail of who had it and where exactly this device was. He was looking for it. He got clues as to where it was, but lost the trail. I hope that's making sense. So because Luke died, passed on in the previous film, Last Jedi, now it's up to Leia, Sins, Rey, Finn, Poe, C-3PO, on this mission to continue what Luke had started. Trying to find this like sort of navigator, Sith navigator, wayfinder thing to where Emperor Palpatine's location is, so they can take the battle to him and kill him once and for all. Because they found out he didn't die in Return of the Jedi. So that's pretty much the point, the main point of this story. But also a side note, Kylo Ren, there are two wayfinders. Kylo Ren was off at the beginning somewhere else. He found one, and found the location of the Emperor where he was. Kylo Ren did. And then there's the other one that Luke was trying to find. So, okay. And I hope how I'm explaining it shorthand kind of makes sense. I'll start off with my dislikes of this film. I got notes, that's why I'm looking down. and not directly at the camera here. My dislikes. This is a spoiler. I just went ahead and looked this up already because it was like, I felt like they had dragged this on for far too long, and I just looked it up before I watched this movie. Ray's parents. Good Lord. When I found out who she's related to, I was pissed because this is such a stupid plot device just to bring Palpatine back into the series, or just for this movie. It's so stupid. Like, her being his granddaughter, I'm like, y'all couldn't think of like anything else? It just, any purpose for him to be there? Like, the whole Snoke thing, Snoke was such an interesting new enemy, and it's like, nope, it was Emperor Palpatine. It was him all along. He had created Snoke as to lure Kylo Ren, Ben, Leia's son, to the dark side. Like, okay. Moving on. Force FaceTiming. I'm trying to, and this is me leading into other things about the Force. Let's start off with Force FaceTiming. Okay, this thing is just breaking, just adding on so many different rules of the Force. It's just, as Force FaceTiming, I'm confused at this point. I'm trying to understand. So you mean to tell me, okay, for instance, say, let's be in the Star Wars world for a minute. Say I have the Force and I have a friend that has the Force. We both have the Force. And we're Force FaceTiming, okay? So me and my friend are talking, and I tell her, hey, I just read this book, and I think you should read it too. So, okay, pretend this is my book, and my friend can see me because we're Force FaceTiming. We're not there physically. I'm in a whole nother galaxy, and she's in a different galaxy as well. But we can see each other through the Force. And I'm holding my book up, and I tell her, I think you should read it. So I hand it to her. I'm looking straight at her, but we're nowhere near each other. We're galaxies away. So I put my book out and hand it to her, and then she takes it. But mind you, an item, a physical item, like, I'm just trying to figure this out. Say I have a physical book and I hand it to her, but yet my friend, we're just using the Force, and I hand the book over to my friend. How does that work? I'm trying to understand that. This is not a living thing. It's an object. It's a book. How in the world, if we're FaceTiming and I have a book, but my friend is nowhere near me, but yet somehow through the FaceTime Force, I can hand my book over to her so she can read it, but we're nowhere near each other physically. It's just a Force image. Okay, that happens a lot in this film. There's some point in this film where Kylo Ren and Rey are talking to each other, and Rey has a necklace over her neck, and Kylo Ren snatches it off her neck. And he's nowhere near her, but he can get the physical item from her. I'm like, what? How does this even work? Okay. Y'all just making stuff up. How does that even happen? What? Okay, and like, healing. Now, Baby Yoda did this in The Mandalorian. Apparently, if you almost get, like, stabbed to death, like, just almost on the brink, like, almost dying, but you're bleeding out, you can get healed. They heal now, like, completely, not just like, oh, heal a little bit and go to a recovery hospital medic station, or like the tank that Luke was in. No, you can use your life force to heal. You can say I have a scratch in my arm, and somebody has the force and they can make all my scars go away. What? How is this happening? How is this happening? What? Okay, what? How y'all making up stuff with the force now? It's like, when was this? When did all these new abilities happen? Well, some people say because she read the text, the ancient Jedi text. Okay, couldn't somebody heal Luke or Anakin when he was transferring over to the good side, Darth Vader? I don't know. Well, okay. I guess Luke didn't have the text then. The ancient text to heal his father back in Return of the Jedi. What else? I'm looking down at my notes. So, Rey taking the Skywalker name. No, don't even try that. You are not a Skywalker. I don't care how close you got to Luke and Leia. You're not a Skywalker. No, don't try that. Don't try. Just no. You're a Palpatine. I know I guess what they were trying to make her do, like she was trying to honor them. Yeah, but just no. No. You're not gonna tell me for 40 years that what George Lucas built doesn't mean anything. Like the characters that he created, the Skywalker family, no, we got our new Skywalker. We got the Disney Skywalker. And her name is Rey Skywalker. Really? All those other Skywalkers that that didn't mean anything. It's just the fact that Rey, and the fact that overall that Palpatine came back, and all that the torturing that Anakin / Darth Vader went through, you kind of like, like in a slick way trying to say, oh well, all that stuff that happened in Return of the Jedi doesn't mean anything. No, it means everything. Okay. Those are my dislikes. My likes are a flashback scene with young Luke and Leia. They're in their prime. Luke training Leia to be a Jedi. It's like it showed when she was like just about to finish her training. And it's a young Luke and Leia. Oh my god. In the old expanded universe, I would like dream of seeing that in a Star Wars film. I used to say, if they could ever like do a sequel series and we could see young Luke and Leia again, if they can get them back together before they're too old, I want to see Luke train Leia. Because in the comic books originally, in the old, I'm about to say MCU, I mean, in the original expanded universe, Leia was a Jedi. Luke trained her. She had a lightsaber and all that. In the novels and in the comic books. And I always wanted to see that. And you actually see that in a flashback scene in this film. I really like that. Leia actually did become a Jedi and she built her own lightsaber. I really, really like that. Speaking of Luke, seeing him again, and Luke actually being the Luke that we know, not whoever that old man was in Last Jedi. I know that Luke was broken, but no, I'm sorry. Oh, and also, let me jump back to my dislikes. Also, how is, okay, there was a thing in Last Jedi where Luke did not, or he couldn't, lift his X-Wing out of the water or something. Some people were saying, oh, it was broken or whatever. That's why he didn't bother lifting it up and going to help Leia back in Last Jedi. But in this movie, he lifts it up and lets Rey borrow his X-Wing. I'm like, or will take his X-Wing. Like, y'all couldn't do that in Last Jedi? Really? But anyways, but that's what I'm saying. It's a little, all that he's doing now in Rise of Skywalker, he should have did that in Last Jedi. But I do like the fact that Luke is back to himself again, even though he's a Force ghost. That he was, he was the wise Luke that he became, who he was when we last saw him when he was a young man in Return of the Jedi. I like that Luke. Luke had, grown up from a naive farm boy to a really wise Jedi. And I like that they show that he is who he is. He just became the Luke that we left off from Return of the Jedi. Also, seeing Lando again. Lando didn't do much, but he helped out when he was needed. And Billy D, you could tell he was just happy to be there. I'm glad that they didn't kill him off. And, it was just nice to see him again. I wish, again, he was in at least somewhere, maybe in Force Awakens or Last Jedi. I think Lando should come early on in the sequel series. I talked about that, Leia building her own lightsaber. Back to Leia, it was nice seeing, I'm glad that they were able to get the footage of whatever leftover footage from Force Awakens and made it work for Rise of Skywalker. Old footage of Carrie Fisher, because of course she's no longer with us. They made it work. And she was in this a lot. I was shocked. And it was seamless. Whatever CGI they used to make young Luke and Leia in that flashback scene was great. And Leia, however they made, Carrie Fisher with those leftover scenes work. And she's not here anymore, and they made it work. And there were times I actually forgot she had, she was no longer with us. It was like she was still there. And that's crazy. And that was very much effective. And I'm just glad that I like her send off. I think she should have died when she, got blown up in space in Last Jedi. I would have been fine with that, but they dignified her. How she died, I'm not mad about it. Because Carrie Fisher's gone. There's nothing more you can do with Leia. And I didn't mind how she died in this. Nice send off to Princess Leia. Also, lastly, what I also liked was when Rey was getting all the powers of the past Jedi, to help her get the strength, because she was like, all her life force was sucked out of her by Emperor Palpatine. To rejuvenate himself, he took life force from Kylo Ren and Rey, he had pushed Kylo Ren, Ben, and knocked him off somewhere, and Rey was just on the ground, just paralyzed almost, and she hears all the voices of, I heard Mace Windu, I heard Yoda, of course, Yoda's always there, I heard Obi-Wan, I heard, who else? Luke, Leia, and most of all, I wish we had seen him, because that definitely would have been the charge for Rey to get up and like, okay, if Anakin can do it, I can do it too. That would have been sort of a nod to the prequels, more so. I wish they had showed Hayden Christensen as young Vader, like a faded Force ghost, to encourage Rey to like, you can do this. I tried, now it's your turn to finally kill the Emperor once and for all. You know what I'm saying? But you do hear his voice. You hear him. I wish it was more, but I'm glad that you hear Hayden Christensen as young Vader. Well, Anakin Skywalker. I love the fact that you hear him. And that I was smiling at that, at hearing all the Force Ghost Jedi encouraging her to get rid of him. So, with that, my overall thoughts. I was originally nervous going into this because I was hearing some rumors. A lot of people weren't. It seemed like I didn't read, the specifics of the reviews. Like, I didn't want to hear any. I only wanted to hear about one spoiler, and that was Rey's, again, like I said, that was Rey's parents. I just, it seemed like everybody was giving it bad reviews, and that made me nervous. I'm like, oh God, I just hope this is not going to be like a Last Jedi situation. Because a film had never done that to me before. Last Jedi, I was confused and my stomach was in knots because everything was so wrong in that film. I'm like, God, my stomach was just turning. I'm like, what film does that to you? Where it's like everything is so wrong with this movie. And this, I didn't put my expectations high now. I had them very low. And I'm surprised. I'm satisfied. It's bittersweet. It's just, I think the movie was okay. Wasn't bad. I think I just have some things I didn't like, and I went over what I liked and what I didn't like. It's just it suffers from trying to clean up from The Last Jedi. And they did the best they could. But then again, you're thinking with some situations, especially Palpatine, I'm not going to let it slide. Y'all could have done better with that. The movie was okay, and I'm not mad. I thought it was okay. Nothing spectacular. It was just okay. At least I don't feel like how I felt when I watched Last Jedi. And, that movie is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm not going to rant and rave about it, but I feel like it just wasted so much time. Whereas we could have gotten something better from episode 9. But it is like Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. It is what it is. This is what you get when you don't have a blueprint of what the overall story, well, in this case, trilogy is going to be about. Because you could tell, this just goes to show that they just threw this all together. There was no plan of what this was going to be about. And that's what this suffers from. Y'all can complain about the prequels all you want, but at least you knew what they were building up to. This was the prequels were about the story of Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father. How did he become Darth Vader? Now, was it told perfectly? No, but we got to that point. Where did he grow up as a boy? What was his life like once he became a Jedi? How did he fall in love? How did Luke and Leia come about? Okay, fine. The original, that was a brand new series, but they built a story. They built a foundation from it. It was Luke's story. Who are his parents? Well, in this case, who was his father? There's a lot of mystery surrounding who is his father, what happened to his dad. There's an old friend of his dad he goes by Ben, but his name used to be Obi-Wan. Okay, what happened there? Why am I living with my aunt and uncle? You know, what happened? What happened to my father? And it's revealed that Darth Vader is his father. You know, the galaxy's greatest galactic terrorist. You know what I mean? And that was, you know, the original base of the story, and that built from that. How they built a blueprint of what story they wanted to tell. You just can't, with the sequel series, they were just throwing a lot of old stuff that we had already seen before and just not really having a blueprint of what they wanted to tell. This is why it's hard to really like, excuse me, that's why it's hard to really like Poe, Finn, and Rey, because there's no base for us to care about these characters. That's why I feel like in some ways this series was a waste of time, because there was really no build up. It was just because of the chaos of Last Jedi. Well, we just got to throw everything together and wrap this up, because they didn't have anything to begin with. Where George Lucas had planned everything from 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. He planned that. It sucks that it just ended on a low point. This movie's okay, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. It's slightly better than Last Jedi, I will say that. Should you run out and go see this? If you're a Star Wars fan, if you love Star Wars no matter what, yeah, go out and see it. I did. I was a little nervous going into this, seeing this, but I love Star Wars no matter what. And this, by all means, this film isn't perfect, but I'll see it. But if you are a neutral fan, you really just don't know that much about Star Wars, or it's not your favorite thing in the world, stay home. No. Wait till this, if you got Disney Plus, wait till this comes out on Disney Plus and watch it there. This is nothing to go run out and see, because it's crazy that you just realize they just threw this sequel trilogy, just threw it all together and had no blueprint as to what story they wanted to tell. And that is, I guess, my spoiler talk / review. That's how I'm feeling. I thought the movie was okay. What did you think? If you saw Rise of Skywalker, did you like it? Did you not like it? How are you feeling? Are you feeling like me, like it is what it is? Here's the thing. I'm just ready for Obi-Wan. I'm just ready for Obi-Wan, and I want to see Obi-Wan watch little Luke and deal with, life on Tatooine as a fugitive of the Empire, as one of the, Jedi in hiding. Yeah, I'm just so ready for Obi-Wan. Yeah, it's funny how the sequel series is trying to tell us to kind of, underneath, whisper, forget about the original series, but yet, on Disney Plus, they have an Obi-Wan pretty soon. Get out of here. Come on now. Yeah. The movie was okay. Please like and subscribe. I know I'm just rambling. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together, because yeah. Okay. Please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.